Like we just can put so much in our worth in just crossing things off the to-do list. Sometimes the things on our to-do list don't even align with what isn't truly important to us. So that's why it's so important to stop and reflect for the equinoxes and the solstices, or you can do it in the full moon and the new moon. Really, any time that feels right to you, it's so important to stop and reflect just to make sure you are focusing on the things that fuel your soul, that align with you. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited that you are here with me today for a journal with me video for the autumn equinox, also known as Mabon. I have some journal prompts for us. If you want to just skip right to those, they are in the description below, or I will leave timestamps. But what I thought would be fun, and I did for the winter equinox, is I will have the journal prompts. I will journal myself, share a little bit of my answers just to help you spark some ideas when it comes to journaling. Now, I also have a yoga flow that I did a few years back for the autumn equinox, and I also have a meditation that I'm doing this year. I'm not sure which one of these is going to come out first, so just be on the lookout for that meditation if it's not out already. So if you're not aware, the autumn equinox, fall equinox, Mabon, is the halfway point between the summer solstice and the winter solstice. From a scientific perspective, because you know I love science over here, I love to bring spirituality and science together. That is my bread and butter. It is when the axis of the earth is completely upright, so our days and nights are equal. They're equal lengths. Day and night are the same amount of time. And that's interesting because that's the same for everyone on Earth, which is really cool. Even though in the southern hemisphere, they're celebrating the spring equinox, and vice versa. When they're celebrating the autumn equinox, we're celebrating the spring equinox in March. So that's what it is from a scientific perspective. From an energetic perspective, we can really look at a time to stop, reflect, be grateful for all the things we've harvested this year. Gratitude and appreciation is a huge theme of the season, that aligns with agriculture and, our gardens, and we're harvesting all these things from our gardens and the fields, but also in your life, what have you been harvesting this year? It's also a beautiful time to just acknowledge the balance of things in your life. Just like we have equal day and night, do you feel like there are areas in your life that need a little bit more balance? And we'll get into that today with the journal prompts. But I just think it's so interesting to reflect on these points throughout the wheel of the year. Like I said, we're all on this planet. We all share this commonality of like the longest day and the shortest day, and when the days are the same amount of time. Like we all share that. So it just makes sense to me to celebrate these. These are like my new holidays, to me at least. And I just use them as a time to pause, reflect, just kind of reevaluate how things are going in my life. So let's get into the first journal prompt for today. So the first journal prompt for the autumn or fall equinox, whatever you want to call it, is what harvests can you be grateful for in your life? So if you want to pause and journal on your own, I would love to hear your answers in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and journal on what I am grateful for, what harvests I have reaped in this season. The first thing that I wrote down is abundance, especially in terms of money. I feel like I'm really good at manifesting money in different ways. Never the way that I expect it to be, but in different ways. And if you listen to my podcast, which I'm currently taking a break from, that's a whole other topic and thing that I could talk about on here, but I'm not going to get into. But go check it out if you're interested in these topics. I mentioned in my podcast that I've recently started babysitting Steven's cousin's daughter. We'll just say it's my cousin's daughter as well. She's the same age as Arlo, so I'm watching Arlo anyways. I'm by definition a stay-at-home mom, even though I resist that title a lot. So it's just like adding an extra toddler to my days, 3 days a week. And with that has come abundance. And I just feel like abundance has flowed in a lot of different ways in my life recently. And every time it does, I just try to express so much gratitude and appreciation. I mean, think about the word appreciation. Like that's what we use to describe our investments in stocks when they increase in value, right? So when you feel appreciation for anything in your life, but especially for monetary abundance, which abundance can come in many different forms. It does not have to be money. It could be relationships, energy, anything. It's just so, so good for you to be in that energy, literally one of the highest vibrations you could be in. So I'm just so grateful for that opportunity, and it's perfect for the season. And again, it's something I never thought I would do. And that's what I find so interesting about my life, is I'm always doing things I never thought I would do, but I love it. I love being surprised. I love trying lots of different things. That's just my personality. Another thing I'm very grateful for is I feel like I am harvesting more peace, ease, and flow. Those are things that are just very important to me. I can get lost in the chase of life many, many times, like so many of us, chasing different things. But really, what's important to me is having peace, flow, fun, and ease. I just think some goals aren't worth getting to if you have to be like unhappy the whole time. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion. I feel like I talked about that in my last journal with me video, but that's how I feel. And I do feel like majority of the time I am in those energies more, and I'm so, so grateful. Another thing I feel like I'm manifesting more is fun, or at least just trying to prioritize more of in my life. If you can see my vision board behind me on my computer screen, that was one of my intentions. And from like reading more fiction to just embracing playing with my toddler, he is such at a fun age. I mean, it can definitely be frustrating sometimes and exhausting, but he's also at such a fun age, and just doing a lot of fun things with our friends and family. I've also gotten to so many concerts this year, and I still have a few more concerts to go to, and that was so fun. I love live music, so very appreciative of those harvests. Also, my relationships, I feel like that's another intention I had this year, was really focus on my family and my relationships, especially my relationship with Steven. I feel like we've had so much growth this year. We've definitely had ups and downs, just like everyone does, right? Like life is lifing. But I feel like through those, we've gotten even closer. And just so, so, so grateful for all the people in my life, including obviously my family and friendships. I just feel like I have so many beautiful friendships in my life. Sometimes it can be almost a little overwhelming, like when you're a mom and working and doing all these other things, and also maintaining relationships. It can be a lot, but I'm also so grateful for all the beautiful souls I have in my life and all the people that I can go to and talk to. Oh, another harvest, I didn't even write this down, was I started therapy, and that has been so beautiful for me. Again, it can be tough to start that. The first few sessions, I feel like you have to talk about a lot of the things you don't want to talk about, but that's part of the process, and it has been so beautiful for me so far. So I'm excited to continue with that and grow in that area of my life. And then the last thing I have on here are ideas and creative energy. I feel like in the last month specifically, I've been feeling so much creative energy flowing through me, and I'm so grateful for that. That is one of the best feelings to me, is when you get an idea or you just feel that creative energy flowing through you. I just finished Big Magic, by the way. Such a great book for creativity. If you're trying to foster more creativity in your life, or you're just a creative person, go grab that book, or go check out the video where I talk about the books I'm reading in this season. All right, the second journal prompt I have for you is, how have I grown or evolved this year? Right, so I just jotted down some ideas that came to me. Again, I would encourage you to journal a lot more on this. I just wrote down a few things for the sake of this video. Definitely one of the areas I feel like I've grown the most in is just like being a mother and embracing that role more. I mean, that sounds vulnerable to share, not that I didn't embrace being a mother, but I feel like I just, like I mentioned before, was fighting the stay-at-home mom title a lot, and I just feel like there's so many other facets to me. There still are, but being a mom is such a gift. I love being Arlo's mom. I tell him every day, I'm so lucky to be your mama. He is such a fun and energetic and just wily boy. He is a wily, cheeky boy. So grateful that he chose me to be his mom, because I do believe he chose me, and I just feel like I've grown a lot there. I know I'm going to continue to grow in that area, and just such a gift, such a gift. The next area I feel like I've grown in is just remembering and realizing what is truly important to me. I kind of mentioned this in the last one. So easy to get caught up in the chase and going after things. And it's beautiful to have goals and desires. We are here to create and go after our desires, but just don't get lost in that, and don't lose what's important, like our relationships and the things that bring us fulfillment and fueling your soul with just the things you love, and with nourishing food and movement and time to yourself, or whatever you need. Don't forget the things that are truly important. And that's why I talk about all the things on here on my YouTube channel, on my podcast, it always comes back to that. It always comes back to presence, being in the here and now. We need a lot of reminders for that, and that's okay. And then the last area I feel like I've grown a lot in, and this connects to things that happened last year, but just really this last month, maybe it is connected to me starting therapy and just like being more introspective, is that identity and worth piece, like the worthiness piece that we can get from our career and our identity. I feel like I've let go of a lot of identities that I once had, like, with what I'm eating or how I'm showing up, or again, in like what I do, how productive I am. Like we just can put so much in our worth in just crossing things off the to-do list. Sometimes the things on our to-do list don't even align with what isn't truly important to us. So that's why it's so important to stop and reflect for the equinoxes and the solstices, or you can do it in the full moon and the new moon, really any time that feels right to you. It's so important to stop and reflect just to make sure you are focusing on the things that fuel your soul, that align with you. All right, my next journal prompt is, what can I let go of that is no longer serving me in this season? This is such a theme of autumn in general, especially when we get into Scorpio season. We can think about this anytime in fall. So this is just like the first invitation to start releasing things. I think I'm going to do a whole video on what I'm releasing in this season, but I'll give you a little taste in this journal prompt. All right, two things that I have written down. One is pressure. I've put a lot of pressure on myself this past year to make my podcast and this channel something that I thought I wanted, and maybe I still do to a degree, but just not what is most important right now. What's most important is showing up as a present and loving mother and wife, and just again prioritizing peace, presence, and flow. So just taking the pressure off of myself. Like once I quit my job, there's a whole story to this. You can check out the RV video. You can check out really any video I've recorded in the past year. I've just been putting a lot of pressure on myself to make my creative pursuits like my source of abundance, which I think everyone wants that initially, right? Like they say, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Like, what is that cliche saying? Which I think that is true to a degree, but something that Liz Gilbert mentioned in Big Magic, which I loved, was putting that pressure on your creativity that it has to be your source of income, like really just like stomps out all that creative energy. And that has been so true for me this past year. So I'm just releasing that. Like I said in the first journal prompt, I've been manifesting abundance in many other ways. So I'm very grateful for that. So if you have a full-time job, side hustle, or you're doing something to support yourself while you're being creative, like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think I had a story for a long time that I have to quit my job in order for me to be like a legitimate podcaster and YouTuber, for people to take me seriously. And that's not the case at all. If anything, that just put way too much pressure on myself. I don't have a plan to go back and get a full-time job anytime soon, but never say never. I'm very open to what's in the future. I just love being creative on here. I love sharing this stuff on here and on my podcast. So that's why I'm here. It is my creative outlet, and it brings me so much joy. All right, the next journal prompt is very in theme with the equinox, which they all are, but this one especially. What areas in your life are craving more balance? And what action steps can you take towards more balance in those areas? All right, one area of my life that I feel like I've gotten better at being more balanced, but still could use some love, is that balance between action and rest. You could also look at it as the balance between a masculine and feminine. Now, I'm not an expert in this, but we all have like masculine and feminine energy within us. Masculine energy can tend to be more action oriented, more of that hustle mentality, more of that like direct, you know what I'm talking about, that masculine energy. And then the feminine energy is a little bit softer. It's just a little bit more intuitive, emotional. There's so much more you can say about this, but it kind of aligns with that anyways. I've gotten a lot better at this, but there were so many times this year where I felt like I just was dragging myself in here to record something or whatever it could be. And once I did it, it brought me so much joy, but it was a little burnout, I think. I was just burnt out from all the pressure I was putting on myself. So really maintaining that balance between resting. Resting is so important. There is no award for working all the time. Like that has been so idolized in our society for so long, which I think that is changing. Like there's so many videos on here about slow living and gentle living and all that, which is beautiful. But rest is important, and we know that. So I know in my life as well, especially since I watch my son full time and another toddler 3 days a week. So it's a lot. I get a lot of my work done when he is sleeping. So I try to choose at least one of those like sleeping times, either in the morning, in the afternoon, because I try to get up before him, or after he goes to bed, to just like totally do something that fills my cup, whether that is reading my fiction book. Or there are times where I just scroll on reels and laugh so hard I cry. Like the parenting reels just get me. But I do delete Instagram every once in a while because it just gets out of hand. Like we're so addicted, it gets out of hand. Anyways, just finding that balance between the rest and then also taking action, not letting perfectionism get in the way of me taking action. Sometimes I get so avoidant of doing something because I want to do it so well. But sometimes you just got to do it. That's how you learn. That's how you get better, is you just do it. And I have a lot of videos coming up in October, which I'm not going to be able to show up perfectly for, but I just want to create those videos because it feels fun. So it's like kind of a tangent, but a roundabout way of saying an area in my life that really could use some balance is that balance between action and rest, especially when it comes to my creative pursuits. And maybe that's the case for you when it comes to your job or your side hustle or your creative pursuits. So again, let me know in the comments down below what areas in your life need a little bit more balance. All right, the next journal prompt is, what intentions do you want to bring into this season? So what intentions do you want to have for fall? I had some intentions for summer, which honestly really helped me. I really leaned into those intentions, especially when I had some like heavier stuff going on. I leaned into those intentions hard. It was really about nourishing myself and slowing down. So think about, what intentions do you want to bring into fall? So my intentions for fall are to really lean into that creative energy that I'm feeling. It's no secret that I love fall. I love this time of year, especially October. It's when the outside world aligns with what's going on with me all the time. Like, as you know from my channel, I'm a little bit hippie, a little bit witchy, and I just feel like this time of year, those things become more socially acceptable. The decorations that are out now, like, are decorations I have up in my house all the time. I think you saw that in my Decorate With Me video. A lot of the things I got this year, I'm just going to leave up all year. Anyways, with that, I feel so much creative energy, especially when it comes to October, and I have a long list of videos I want to create, but I want to do that while also prioritizing peace, fun, and flow. Like, I don't want to do it and stress myself out. That would defeat the whole purpose. So again, going back to the last journal prompt, it's really going to be this balance of letting my creative energy out, really channeling that creative energy into an outlet I love expressing myself in, while also prioritizing peace, fun, and flow, and showing up for all of my other things that I have going on in my life, and not letting that like stress me out too much. So it's just going to be a really good test and dance with that flow, and I'm excited. I'm excited for it, and I know that there's no pressure. It's another intention for the season, is I'm releasing pressure. Like I mentioned before, I'm releasing expectations, and I'm just doing it because it's fun. So if things don't work out with what I'm trying to do in October, which you might be like, Lindsay, what are you trying to do in October? I'll explain that in a future video. If it doesn't work out, I'll pivot, but I'm really excited to express my creativity in October. That is just feels right for autumn. Creative energy in all of its different forms. All right, our last journal prompt for the autumn equinox. And again, you can do these at any time. You don't have to do it like on September. I think it's September 21st this year. I'll have to look it up. It's usually around there. The last journal prompt is, do I need to make any shifts or pivots to end the year in my highest alignment? All right, some things that came to me, some things that I just really want to remember. And I feel like I'm doing a better job of, but I really want to embody in this last part. So these are just like little shifts in energy I'm taking with me from the autumn equinox on. Is one, just remembering that things are always happening for my highest good. That is just a belief I choose. I personally choose. I think it's true for all of us. But me personally, I believe that to my core. And I just want to remember that. Even when I'm frustrated or overwhelmed or angry, because I'm still going to be those things, even though I'm working on being that less of the time. I'm still going to experience those emotions because I'm human. Just remembering things are always happening for my highest good. And also remembering that when I do feel like moody or triggered or whatever, just being compassionate with myself. That is something that I've really started doing more since starting therapy, especially when it comes to like past versions of myself. Another themed video I want to do in October, talking about like ghosts from our past and past versions of ourselves, how they can be ghosts. It's just like thinking back to that past version of yourself that maybe you feel guilt or shame around, and giving that past version of you a big hug. She or he was doing the best that they could. And that just has felt so healing for me. And I feel like really transformed how I'm showing up in different areas of my life. So I hope this was beneficial for you. I hope you found this fun. Again, leave in the comments below like some of your answers to these journal prompts, or what you thought of this. Was this beneficial? Are you doing this? Where are you journaling? Just like give me all the details below. If you are new here, please subscribe. We have new videos every week, and I'm going to have a lot more. I mean, a lot more coming up in October that I'm so excited for. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anyone else that you think would enjoy it. And I'm just sending you all so much love, all the highest vibes in this autumn equinox time, in this fall season. Just let your inner basic girl witchy self out if you're feeling it. Just let her out, let her thrive in the season. That is what I'm doing, and it feels so good. Love you all so much, and I will see you in the next video.